Greetings, fellow internet goer. My name is Apollo, God of the Sun, and I am the host of today's Stonerman review on Marvel's The Defenders, the Netflix exclusive show released right here in the year of our Lord 2017. And I am here with my co-host, Homer.
Hey guys, how's this going? Feels good to kick it back. Currently packing some kief on our bowl right now, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, we're about to get lit and things are about to get good. Oh yeah. But we're gonna keep the spoilers till the end of the show, so I gotta keep a lot of my notes in the back of my mind. Overall, I was very anticipated for the show because I liked most of the characters that were going into it. I kinda was really sad that the Punisher wasn't involved at all, but you know, that's okay.
We'll get to the Punisher a little bit later at the end of the show.
Oh.
Cough. I was also anticipating a lot. I love these characters that the Netflix show set up, and it was awesome seeing them come together. It's like a bonus Avengers almost, but on TV. It's so cool that we get a chance to live in this day and age where we get so much awesome comic book content.
Hell yeah. There's almost too much good shit to see.
Yeah, right? We've had a Hell in a Cell review palooza for September. We've had so many reviews. It's been popping. It's
popping off. I thought that The Defenders was dank. It had good action and a great story, and it does gets a bit slow at times,
yeah.
But there's still really great scenes if you pay attention. Just a lot of the mood set by the soundtrack and everything. It's fantastic.
I agree with that 100%. I'll get to the pacing a little later, but at first I was really expecting a big spectacle, kind of like the Avengers, but like you were saying, we got that slower tone, more. We got to live with the characters almost, it felt like, for a good 8 hours.
Very well put.
At first I was a little off-put because I was hoping for that spectacle, huge action-packed, Defenders, hell yeah, we're here. But instead we got the slower pace, and I thought about it, and it's kind of because they needed something that was big enough to form the Defenders together without attracting the attention of, say, the Avengers. That's kind of the only part they have their hands tied, being connected to the movie universe.
Nothing too big can happen, you know.
I think it's going to really pay off if the Defenders ever get a chance to shine in the movies. I'm not sure if it'll happen, but I think it'd be cool.
It would be fucking awesome to see someday. Maybe even cram them into Infinity War. I don't give a shit. I mean, it's very doubtful, but I'd jizz my fucking pants.
If there was a place, it would be Infinity War. Even if there was at least a mention, they have a chance to do the bigger scale stuff if the Avengers just acknowledge the Defenders as a reputable team to take care of this kind of things. If there's just a mention, say Nick Fury's yeah, the Defenders take care of this section or something. Just a small little thing like that could go a long way.
Fucking awesome. I would jizz my pants. I mean, right now it doesn't seem super likely, especially because they can't even mention the Avengers themselves directly. At least from the Netflix show, they can't even mention
they
the happening from
things.
The Avengers movie. They call it The Incident.
Yeah, The Incident. There's little newspaper clippings of the Hulk in the background, just tiny little things. But like I said, it makes it even better. It'd be better if they didn't acknowledge it at all.
Yeah, right. They don't really have to. It's great on its own.
For those who complain about the slower pace, at first, I was off-put, but I kind of dig it. As soon as I felt it got a bit too slow, it started to pick up, so it's not too bad. I think Netflix and the creators of the show were very aware of what Apollo and I like to call behind the scenes the art of the bin. For example, the pilot didn't wow me too much, but it had its moments here and there. The show really picks up the more you watch, and it almost feels like an 8-hour movie. Even the way the ending of the episodes are set up, it's not set up with a cliffhanger per se. Each episode's usually set up with a really cool, memorable moment. I'll mention some in the spoilers later. It just keeps you hooked without raising too many questions.
The entire season, Luke Cage is wearing that Carhartt jacket, and I just thought he's basically a walking Carhartt promo. I can see the ads now. Tough as Luke Cage, Carhartt.
They should.
And I have not been paid by Carhartt in any way, but they do make quite a coat, let me say.
That was our paid Stonerman advertisement. Just kidding.
We've sunk to a new low.
Another thing the show does really well is, like I was saying earlier, the characters, they really hit home with them. They feel like the good characters, except I'll talk about this when we get to cons a little more. I still don't think they hit home with Iron Fist. Iron Fist is one of my most anticipated heroes for this Netflix series because I haven't really read his story. And I think I've said this on a past podcast that he was, besides Daredevil, my most anticipated, even more than Punisher, just because I was so interested in his powers. The ability to put chi in your fist, that sounds really cool to me. Once again, I feel like they did not do him justice, and I'm pretty disappointed on that front.
Yeah, Iron Fist was certainly not done justice.
I also thought they did some pretty interesting camera shots throughout this show. I thought it was pretty cool cinematography. Pretty interesting, more than your average show TV show.
Very true. I feel like they took a lot from the pages of Daredevil, from the show itself.
And
especially the theme song.
True.
It sounds a lot like it.
Daredevil is pretty much the leader in this one, but they hint that maybe Iron Fist will be later on. It's kind of a power struggle right now. We're still getting to know the characters as a whole, and we do get to meet a lot of cool characters from the other shows as well, like their side characters like Froggy and that one girl. And
that one girl, yes.
I forget.
And
her
the
name.
other girl, the Asian one from Iron Fist, and then the other one from Luke Cage and Daredevil.
And I feel like Daredevil and Iron Fist have the most story points that wrap around in this series. They do a good job at bringing Jessica Jones and Luke Cage in. That feels pretty much natural, but I think it really focuses around Daredevil and Iron Fist's point of views the most. And speaking of that, I think they do a really good job of taking all the tones from the different show and mashing it together. I know that was a concern going in, but I think they did a good job of keeping the dark grit while keeping the flavor each show has of their own.
Honestly, I am kind of hoping for Luke Cage and Jessica Jones to end up together because they would make some sweet, superpowered, mixed-race babies.
And they did do pretty good in the Jessica Jones television show as well.
True, that was also enjoyable. I just couldn't get into Iron Fist, though. Speaking of things we didn't get into, we got some cons here for you.
I was so disappointed by Iron Fist. I was really hoping they did him justice because they didn't even have his costume yet. Maybe he'll get his costume now that he's going on to his second season. I'm hoping for Iron Fist going forward, but he's easily my least favorite defender.
Speaking of costumes, I was kind of hoping we were going to get to see all of their costumes by the end, but like, only Daredevil.
Yeah, pretty much. And it seemed kind of out of place because the other two weren't in costume.
Yeah, do they just not give a fuck? I mean, seems like you should. You're a goddamn superhero. One thing I gotta say about the action, it might be the action combined with the camera angles and whatnot and the editing, but sometimes it seems like two people or more will just kind of be like spinning around really fast or moving around a lot, but like nobody will be actually hitting anyone or trying to hit anyone, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, it all looks cool, but a huge gripe for me for the Defenders, I thought there'd be a lot more action. There's such a surprising lack of action throughout this show, and even when they give me a fight I really wanted to see, which we'll get into spoilers a little more, they cut it short, and I was like, what the fuck? I think they missed opportunities to really show the power of the hand by not having him do really anything, really, except just talk about their evil plans the entire time. That was a big letdown for me, the lack of action, especially the action we got in the Daredevil show was so
it was killer. Definitely top shelf.
That top shelf shit.
One thing I wanted to say earlier, this is not a con, but definitely a pro, was when Jessica Jones was fighting Elektra, I was kind of just hoping they would take it off, you know?
That'd be hilarious. And that's another kind of con for me. The villains, I thought they were on the weaker side, especially when we look at villains like from Daredevil once again, which is the best one. He had the Kingpin, which was top shelf,
definitely
villainry.
Top shelf villainry.
And we also
top shelf storytelling. My God,
hell yeah! And then with Jessica Jones, I thought even had a better villain with Kilgrave. So the villains kind of let me down. I was expecting a lot more from the Hand.
They're supposed to be like the what? I don't know. The Illuminati of the fucking Marvel world, and then they went down pretty soft, man. Now it's time for us to review, and we use our unique marijuana rating system, which goes from the lowest of the low, resin, which is shit you don't really want to smoke, that shit you scrape out of your bowls, fuck it. Nobody really wants it. Then we got mids, and they're okay, but you know, you'd really rather have something better, like dank, which is the next level, and that's when you're feeling pretty goddamn good about it. It's fucking awesome, like, everybody wants it. That's not even the best. The best is wax.
Damn.
When a movie and or showing is wax, then it's the best of the best, and you should probably go see it right now.
Perfect score.
that's how it fucking goes. And personally, I would have to give it a dank minus. Because it could have been much better in a lot of ways, but it was really awesome in a lot of other ways. So just check it out for yourself, and you will see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, dank minus. What a rating, because that's the same exact one I had, Apollo.
Oh, mama.
I thought you were actually going to be shocked because you were talking up the show when we were watching it. But yeah, dank minus for me. I love spending time with these characters again. I just wish they did a little bit more with it, took it to the next level, Daredevil style with the story. And I think they could have used a kickstart with the pacing a little bit. However, if you're a fan of these Netflix shows, I think there's plenty for you to love.
Now time for us to spoil the fucking show for you, so...
Spoiler section, if you have not seen the show, get the fuck out of here.
Fuck off, I don't care.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Doesn't matter to me.
Don't matter.
Okay, so the part I wanted to get to about Iron Fist, how he's just a damsel in distress in the second half, like
yeah, he's just tied up. Oh,
because he's basically the weapon that the hand needs to supposedly open some type of door or something. The defenders tie him up. They only had to because he was being such a bitch about just staying in the room. Like he was just like, you can't keep me here. Like, well, what else were you gonna do?
Exactly, and they do, and he's just an idiot throughout the show. I'm sure it's just building to a character development where he's gonna be awesome later on. He's the reason they get tracked at the Chinese restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really display
Calling
his powers
from his cell phone.
in a really cool way throughout the show.
No.
I thought it was pretty poorly handled, and the actor is just okay. I don't really see him as this immortal Iron Fist. Maybe that's a point. I've not read the comics. And I also was disappointed they don't have his costume, which I almost spoiled earlier on in non-spoiler. That they didn't have his costume, but maybe now that he's taking on the reins of Daredevil, he's inspired to get a costume now, and we're going to see the costume from the comic books.
That'd be tight to see. I would have personally liked to see Iron Fist played by Hyde from that 70s show, whoever that actor was.
Yeah, and he's also in
like
The Farm, or what's that show called? On Netflix? The Ranch.
Oh, yeah, that's that shit.
Yeah. And, I was pretty jarred at the ending Defenders fight scene, when the big epic fight scene. Why did they use Luke Cage's music for that fight scene?
Dude, yes! I'm glad you brought that up.
Why?
I don't necessarily... I liked it, but
No,
like it just seemed kind of odd, like especially with the tone of the rest of the show. Like
yeah,
usually when Luke Cage does something as Luke Cage, then Luke Cage's music comes on, but then Iron Fist hits the Iron Fist, and then Luke Cage's music plays.
Yeah, and throughout the show, as I pointed out earlier, the storylines are more based around Iron Fist and Daredevils, so why not use their theme, or better yet, create a Defenders theme for this fight? I just thought it was a little lazy on my part, just, oh, Luke Cage, he has the best music, I guess.
We'll go with it.
That was a little weird.
One thing I wanted to say was I like when Jessica Jones is on the train with everybody and she just grabs that beer from like the passed out homeless guy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Just chugs it.
Yeah, that was a really good part, Paul. Before we get to the super spoilers, I also wanted to point out what I was saying earlier. Like, each episode ends on a pretty cool scene rather than a cliffhanger. Like, on the pilot episode,
yeah,
it ends with I'm Your Lawyer, Jessica Jones by Daredevil, which is a really awesome scene.
Yeah.
And they just do stuff like that instead of like cliffhangers. It's just like, oh, I gotta see more of that shit.
I'm really glad you said that, Homer, because I didn't even notice that's what they did until you made me analyze it just now.
Like
it kind of reminds me of Breaking Bad. Like, they didn't just use cliffhangers. They just left it so awesome that you're just like, dude, where's the next episode?
Exactly. Like I said, Netflix and the creators of this show mastering the art of the binge.
There you go. Now I've got Breaking Bad nostalgia because I mentioned it.
Can't wait for Better Call Saul Season 4. Fill that Breaking Bad void.
Oh, yeah.
Because Better Call Saul is pretty good. We're going to have pretty good reviews for that.
Oh, that'll be good times.
We're huge fans on this show.
Except we've got years and years.
Forever, dude.
At least me and Steven can review Shameless.
That's going to be pretty poppin' after show. We have a lot of cool content coming your way.
Super spoiler. Basically the ending, Daredevil, instead of leaving the underground base with everybody else, the Defenders, and surviving, he chooses to stay behind and try to save Elektra somehow, even though she's still trying to kill him. And it seemed kinda retarded personally, but you know, I guess Daredevil's just got a good heart. Just too blind to see how evil she is.
But it was actually, despite how kind of cheesy it was at first, I thought it was pretty cool how they did the scene, like they fell back in love, whatever. They had some really memorable lines there. And it was a pretty cool scene watching the stuff fall on top of him.
I definitely 100% thought he was dead, and I was, like, regretfully hoping as I was watching that he kind of stayed dead, and that they weren't gonna, you know, if they're gonna kill someone off, do it. Don't fuck around with us like Batman vs. Superman. Or, you know, I was thinking if they do it like The Dark Knight Rises and have at least someone taking up his mantle like how Joseph Gordon-Levitt did.
True. Well, but that's actually kind of Iron Fist did.
That's what they did. He said, you know, protect my city. That was the last thing he said. But
that's the only good thing about Daredevil. It kind of inspired Iron Fist for a potentially better season 2, but they did still kind of do it in a cheesy way.
True.
And same with Batman vs. Superman. Even though I love that movie despite the haters.
Me as well. Oh yeah, but you know, I was gonna say since Stonerman, Jesus. Since Daredevil survived...
Wrong universe.
Yes, wrong universe. This is real life. Since Daredevil survived, Elektra probably survived too, even though, you know, an entire building collapsed on top of him.
Yeah,
which is pretty insane. I don't know how they're gonna fucking write this shit in.
I would just assume, is the Hand alive? I'm guessing.
I'm guessing everybody's alive if that shit happens. So.
And how did, like, that religious person find him? Were they near a church or something? A lot of answers to be had in season 3.
Indeed. Answers to be had. Questions to be answered. I'm worried about how the new Disney flick shit is gonna affect these series, though.
Yeah, the Disney streaming service.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna take over. Like, are they gonna reboot these shows I love? I really hope not, because although a lot of them can use improvement, I really look forward to seeing them every single time.
I would love them to keep the same characters and the same storylines. It's awesome the way it is.
I just hate how behind the scenes muddling all this. Like, is it going to stay on Netflix and still be Flame? Is it going to go to Disney streaming service, still be Flame? Hopefully, please don't reboot it. We have probably the best Daredevil we ever had.
True.
And probably the best Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. I can't picture anyone else playing them. I could easily see someone else playing Iron Fist though.
Yes. We're gonna reboot Iron Fist. Cough, cough.
Or just get a new team behind Iron Fist, please. Yes. Is he this lame in the comics? If you read the comics, comment below and just shatter my dreams now.
Yes.
If he's this lame in the comics, just let me know. He's one of the few characters I've never read before. I'm even reading Moon Knight, and that's a pretty new adventure for me, and he's really awesome. And his current run is pretty nice.
I gotta read that shit. And at the end of the credits, there was that teaser for Punisher.
Yeah,
that was pretty tight.
It was pretty nice. We got a little sneak peek. That's coming really soon. I'm excited to see Punisher because I hope they go full on gore, full on brutal with his show.
Hell yeah! It better have a good reason for keeping him out of the Defenders. He better just be a straight up killer.
Yeah, straight up killer.
Absolutely.
There's actually been a lot of talks about Marvel Knights getting together on their own Netflix show, which is another reason I want this series to really continue.
Fuck yeah.
For those of you who don't know, because I didn't know, I had to look it up to be honest.
Now lay it down for him.
And it could also be another reason why Punisher was not in the Defenders, because he could be setting up the Marvel Knights possibly. The core lineup is the Punisher, Blade, Ghost Rider, and Moon Knight. That's a really solid lineup, a really heavy metal lineup.
That sounds tight as fuck.
I think that could be really cool. And I think another reason there's a really good chance is Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Elektra have all made appearances in the Marvel Knights. I don't think that could be a coincidence. I think it's coming. I think they're all going to cross over. It's going to be really cool.
That'll be fucking awesome to see. They might be able to top the Marvel movies running right now. What if that shit happened?
True.
In popularity.
If they go really dark with Blade, the Vampire Hunter, that could be really sick.
Ooh.
Ghost Rider, pretty much Devil himself, on a motorcycle. I really hope they reboot him from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was really lame in my opinion.
Doesn't he drive a car in that or some shit?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And
that's Ghost Driver, not Ghost Rider.
Exactly. And I know there's a comic where he does that, but no, go old school with the bike, please.
I hope they go so old school that they bring Nicolas Cage back.
I'd be down, to be honest. I love Nicolas Cage. He's one of my favorite ever. Sometimes he's just so bad you can't help but love it.
It's good shit.
And who else? Moon Knight, the lunatic superhero. His story is just so bonkers. You gotta read it. Trust me on that one.
Nice.
And I think they could make a really good series out of all these. Could even top the Defenders, in my opinion.
That'd be sick.
And then we could even have... They could do so much like Defenders versus Marvel Knights. Or they team up. A lot of shit. Or if they do like Infinity War or Secret War or something down the line.
Some type of crazy shit like
they
that.
They could have fucking Defenders, Marvel Knights, and Avengers all line up. Holy shit.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. Well, that's just about all, folks. If you were really interested in what you heard here tonight, then please visit our website at stonermanshow.com. You can donate to us, and you can check out our memes, or, do whatever. There's a bunch of cool stuff on there. Give it a click. Homer updates it all the time. It's totally worth it.
Yep, some new memes going up soon, and a lot of podcasts coming up.
I make some of those memes.
Oh,
so check it.
Apollo's on the memes, too.
Well, this is Apollo signing off. It's been fun. Good night, everyone.
Thank you all for listening so much. And as always, stay lifted, my friends.
Apollo usurp Homer as host? Find out on next week's episode.
Even, what's his name? I'm thinking Blade. Stitch? No, the blind man.
Oh! Stitch? Blade? What the fuck is it? Is it Eyes? No, what is it? What the fuck's the old blind man's name, god damn it?
Fuck.
I know this. Stick! It's Stick.
Oh, I was thinking Stitch.
I was gonna say Fist, but no, that's also